I don't think that it's changed me. I mean, it changes the way that I do things. It hasn't changed who I am. For that, I'm grateful. Unfortunately, it hasn't changed who I am or the way I am. And for that, it drives me crazy. Hi, it's Nani. Welcome to Chronicles of Nani. This is my weekly vlog about my life living with, not living in spite of, but truly living with progressive MS and being in a wheelchair. And sometimes dealing with that, feeling helpless and getting over that, shaking it off and saying, no, I'm still going to be the most that I can be, and I'm going to get the best that I can be out of what I've got. Sorry about the light, because I'm taping much later than I usually do. I'm hoping to tape straight through and not make a lot of mistakes, because I don't want it to get dark before I'm done. And sorry about the hair, because I know my hair is kind of a mess right now, and I've received both in comments and in person some nice compliments about my hair, and thank you. I hate it, but I think everybody is hardest on themselves, right? I'm definitely, the next time it gets cut, I've got photographs that I'm going to show my stylist, and I'm going to say, okay, these are some of the things that I want to look at. I think my biggest thing is I don't like it straight. I think there's not as much that you can do with it. And I don't have somebody that comes in and does anything with it. My husband doesn't even feel comfortable brushing it for me. And there are some days I can kind of brush it myself. Other days, kind of like today, where I try and no. But I'm still here. I'm not as organized and things aren't as perfect as the cyber coffee shop should be this week. Actually, the coffee machine in my cyber world is down. The cappuccino maker is down. I have no coffee. I don't even have a coffee mug. I have lemon seltzer water. And that's all I've got is seltzer water right now. That is the drink of choice. Actually, the only drink at the cyber coffee shop right now. So sorry about the light. Sorry about my hair. I guess that there are a lot of things that I could apologize for, and a lot of people I could apologize to. But by the same token, there's a lot of stuff that's not my fault. There's a lot I think the world should apologize to me for. The truth is, I don't believe either one. I don't think that there's a lot that I have to apologize for. Sometimes I can be a little rough, sometimes a little demanding, and I do apologize almost immediately for that. And, I think I apologize most to my husband because he's the one that's stuck with me most of the time. I can definitely play the chronic illness and the fact that I'm in a wheelchair, and I can be cranky and I can say that things aren't working because of that. But the truth is, I don't think that it's changed me. I mean, it changes the way that I do things. It hasn't changed who I am. For that, I'm grateful. Unfortunately, it hasn't changed who I am or the way I am. And for that, it drives me crazy. But crazy as it may feel, when it comes right down to it, I feel kind of victorious. Because I am who I've always been. I don't let challenges change me. Part of the problem with that is challenges change what I can do. And it puts me back where I've always ended up. And that doesn't have anything to do with chronic illness, because everybody is like this. There are lots of people like I have always been. Far back as high school, I have bitten off more than I can chew, because there are things that have to be done at school and things that I wanted to accomplish after school and social things that I wanted to do because I was a teenager. And I would pull all-nighters. I never pulled an all-nighter to finish a paper or get ready for a test. That's one of those weird things that my husband asked me about some time ago. Do you remember those times when you would be up all night cramming to get a paper done? And I told him, no. Because as far back as when I was in high school, when I made the decision that I want to be an honor roll student and I want to be in a position where I can get into whatever college I want to go to. And I actually did get there. I did some stupid things about, no, I don't want my parents to be considered in student loans. If you can't loan me the money and I can't afford it, I will slowly get through college. Yeah, I probably could have done the 4 years straight after high school thing, but I've learned so much. I learned so much in it took me, instead of graduating from college in 88, I graduated from college in 97. So it took me a little more time, but I learned so much in that time that when I did go back to finish my degree, the classes were actually easier because I had real life experience that I could use for writing papers, for understanding things, because these are things that I've actually done or been involved with before. So to anybody who's thinking of going back and finishing their degree, and I've got a very good friend who's doing exactly that, to which I more power to you, and I know she's going to do a great job, because after you have lived in the world and actually been a part of that world for years, after high school or after part of your degree, and you go back to finish or earn your degree, it's actually easier. Don't be afraid of doing it. If you're thinking about doing it, don't be afraid of it, because you've already got experience that you can add to what you're learning. It worked for me, and I know that all you have to do is want it to work and shake off the fear and just do it, and you're going to do great. And that's to you, my friend. And I've said it to you in person, and I know that you watch this vlog. So it's to you and everybody like you and everybody who wants to be like you, and there are plenty of people that want to be just like you, and you're going to do fantastic. But right now, like I said, my husband said, cramming for getting a paper done or getting ready for a test. Never. Back in high school, I started using a day timer calendar where I would go through my book and I would write down when a paper was due, and then I would write down when I wanted the paper done so that I could show it to my mother so she could pull out her red pen and circle everything that's wrong, leaving it so that there's no way I could turn it in, and I would have to rewrite it. I called it the red pen of death, and I hated that red pen. Until I started college, and I did start junior college right after high school, and got through a decent portion of my freshman year, and also started my first business at the same time. So there were a lot of things that were going on, and I also had a part-time job, and I've always lived that way. Remember, I've said before that when I did finish my degree, it was at 3 campuses and I had 3 part-time jobs. And this was in my late 20s, almost 30. So I've always been used to things being like that. Working more than one job and taking on multiple other projects that I was working on. That's just me and the way I always was. And this started with back in high school, that I would put down when something was due, when I needed to have it ready. Mom would go through it with the red pen of death and I'd have to rewrite it, and found out later that, wow, I actually remember everything that I did even better. That red pen was wonderful. When there was a test coming, I would have studied for the test, and I knew what I needed to know for the test long before the night before. And I didn't believe in studying the night before for a test. I believed in doing all of my studying beforehand and taking a night off and letting it sink in, so that the night before a test, I got a good night's sleep, and if it was a big test, then I had everything in my brain and ready to go. And I did well. I did well with my grades in school. I did well with keeping up with things that I needed to do. I sometimes did not do well with keeping my room clean. If my brain got scattered, got overloaded, and I started not being able to keep things organized, that's when I would pull the all-nighter. When I pulled an all-nighter, I would clean my entire room. I mean, down to moving furniture, taking all of the books and everything off of my bookshelves and putting them back in. I mean, my books and records, later CDs, everything was in alphabetical order so that I could find them by artist and pull everything out. And all of the titles of my books were separated by type of book and alphabetical order. And yes, that sounds insanely OCD, but you should see what the desktop of my computer looks like, because it's the same way. The folders are organized in specific places, and when you open a folder, then the folder goes through and it's in alphabetical and chronological order, and it tells you exactly what is going on. So every now and then I have to regroup. That is, that I have to go through the computer and just reorganize everything. I've got a couple of folders that are to be filed folders, and I have to go through and file everything that's in those folders to regroup. My representation of my brain and keeping myself organized is my hard drive now. Where it used to be my room, it's the hard drive now. My room would get messy, and anybody that walked in could physically see that. And then one day, bam, it's neat and clean, and oh my gosh, where did that come from? My hard drive is like that now. that if you looked at my desktop, you'd be totally confused and I don't get it. And then one morning, bam, my desktop would be, wow, any stranger could just sit down and figure out where everything is. But I'm at a point right now where I need to regroup. I've got my sticky notes program that I use in place of the bulletin board that I have always had. At home, at work, there's always been a bulletin board, someplace where I pinned up notes and words of inspiration, and I do all that on my sticky notes program and my wallpaper on my computer now. So I'm at a point now where I'm needing to do some regrouping. There's, in my opinion, no excuse to be doing my video when you can hear cicadas in the background, because it's the time of day when the cicadas are screaming, and when the light's not so great. And there's no excuse for me. I always had my clothes pulled out the night before, and I'm used to my clothes for recording, and any jewelry or anything else is all pulled out and ready to go the night before. I don't like, okay, that shirt's not there, do you have a second choice? It's like, the day of, do I have a second choice? Well, no. I shouldn't be thinking of a second choice the day of. I should already have everything. So, yeah, I need to do some serious regrouping. What do you do for things that make you in order? Everybody's got something that, if this is in order, I am good. So long as everything in my purse is figured out and easy to find, so long as I know where everything in my book bag is, so long as I have one bookshelf. What is your one place that if it's in order, you're in good order? Even if you're not one of the bite off more than you can chew persons, you still have something that has to be in order. So share with us, what's your one thing that has to be in order for you to feel in order? And we can compare notes. But in the meantime, I am going to fix my computer up and get everything in order and feel good about that. And then edit what I've just recorded. And I didn't start things off asking you to subscribe, and I'm going to ask you to subscribe now, and start to remember the things I've learned. Once I've got my computer in order, that's going to help. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye, and have a fantastic week, and I'll be back more organized next week or real soon after that.